Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come. To the bottles in the ditch, to the scoop in the oats, to the air in the lung, let evening come. Let it come as it will, and don't be afraid. God does not leave us comfortless, so let evening come. This next poem is a cento. It was created from an anthology by Jack Lortz called Song in Dark Times. It's not printed yet. The title I wrote with a nod to Ray Bradbury, who came to me before Walt Whitman. And when I do the words of other poets, I'll hold up my hand. I sing the body pandemic. Inhale, exhale, in X, in these dark times. Weight of breath, blood on the leaves at the root, whistling, screeching. Sometimes it is war and sometimes it is not. High-pitched sound, but whose heart can remain at peace? When they breathe, songbird guards a twig, its only weapon a song. Pressure in their chest. My song is drowned in the cacophony. Worsens. It wasn't our story. Lips, fingertips bluing, in such perilous state, sometimes blurring breathlessness, but all of it holds us. Sing out. Does anyone know a song? I can't breathe. What can we sing for hope? I wrote this next poem for Mort Pomerantz. It's called Self-Portrait as Our Nation's Capital. I am memorial and monument. I am bronze and marble, Martin Luther King carved out of a mountain of white. The founding fathers, the founding fathers, my wives and mothers, all women are add-ons. They are segregated, lonely, and unvisited, for it is my dogs that are lovingly bronzed beside me. I am 37 individual police units. I am chain link fence, short, tall, permanent, movable. I am surrounded by concertina wire. I am Jersey barriers and concrete. You can eat off my streets. My unhomed disappeared. The West is on fire. Much of the country parched, though my lawns are dug up, spruced up, fitted for sprinklers. I'm perfectly manicured. I'm rules and signs. I tell you, do not enter, restricted, cross, do not cross. Park, pay by phone. My signs tell you where to pick up your car when it is towed. Signs simultaneously blink red, 10, 9, 8. Command, wait, wait, wait. I am surveillance. Video cameras adorn me inside and out, so numerous they have become nearly invisible. I am metro stations poorly lit, poorly ventilated, trains every 6 or 15 or 24 minutes, depending. During rush hour, commuters, visitors crush into me, to my veterans visiting their ghosts. People push, throng, clash, cacophony, until I am gorged. I am guns carried concealed. No one looks me in the eye. I am liberty, justice, freedom, equality. I am monument. I am memorial. Drawing a picture of sunshine from memory. America, I think that maybe, just maybe, I tried not to have any expectations. Nothing but words of pain and protest, subverting time, death, and judgment. You are lately the color of obscurity, occupying territories, vivisecting subjects, leaving things unspecified, germinating inside me. Is your heart healthy enough? You gift me 27,500,000 uninsured, 197,000 COVID deaths, Medicaid cuts, a $26 trillion national debt, Russia disdain, and climate emergency. I will not speak. You have not failed me. The choices I have made have led me here. We walk a bitter path, scorching the proximity of time. Scenes from our next episodes, waiting for a catastrophic failure. I never doubted you. We all have darkness. Your urgent reply is needed. Beauty. You cup the world in your hands. Its reticence pricks fingertips. Your eye embraces, becomes the sun. You as witness. Asleep in the White House's beauty. She's peace. Her gown grown animate. Each gossamer thread a life. The dead plucked by a harpist, entwined in a bramble, a thicket grown wild and wicked that encircles the house long gone dark. You don't know how it happened or why, this seeming eternal sleep. Where is the one, you wonder, the kiss, the awakening, you as the one, the world in your hands? This next series of poems is from a manuscript I'm working on called What She Carries Concealed. The title's with a nod to Tim O'Brien's Meditation on War, The Things They Carried. And my book delves into things that women carry with them, issues like rape, incest, the body, sexual harassment, abortion, stalking, those kinds of things. Women collectively. I was abused by my father, fists, belts, and other tortures. I was raped by my friend at my own party in my own house. I was stalked for months on end, creepy notes left on my car, even after I moved 6 times. Words beat me down to a still fat 0, thanks to my first husband. I've worked for over 30 years in high tech. I have been paid less, passed over for promotions. I have endured jokes, boasts, pictures, the oh so many unwanted sexual advances. His tape, his words, alone, the way he says them, the way he means them. He says they're just words, but it's his pacing, his invasion of her space, his towering over her, his words, his hand, a lowered fist, his rising words, his pacing, his empty apology, his hand on the small of her back, his glowering, his words interrupting, his hand grabbing her elbow, shaking her hand. Just pussy. For us to define our oppression in materialistic terms. To my sisters per capita, I know you believe me to be a feminist. What I don't know is how you define a feminist. Is it, do you want equal everything, to be paid the same as a man for the same job, or the right to choices, partners, birth control, babies that concern my very own body? Or protection under the law to share 50-50 the property, cash, kids, stuff we acquire through better and worse, being harassed, grabbed, groped, ogled, told filthy jokes just for fun, while we are simply doing our jobs, then let go, minimalized, marginalized as we wrinkle, or that skin or sex should ever be a consideration for anything. And honey, sweetie, angel pie, girl, do you really think I like being defined as a protected class? Do you think you will? Rip, which is rest in peace. Dude, I am guessing you never held a real job. I'm guessing that you think it's okay to be, it's not, I'm guessing that you think it's okay not to be accountable, that it's a-okay to do a half-assed volunteer who answers a question with a question implying, this is in a smaller font, implying I wouldn't understand the technical stuff because I'm a girl, and quitting in a huff without notice, then going into an email account after your tantrum, forwarding email to the person you determine it should be forwarded to, who is not actually who it should have gone to, but also secretly forwarding everything to yourself, believing it's absolutely, positively okay. Dude, I'm guessing you never held a real job because you CC everyone you think might take your side, and then, in the guise of being helpful, complain that the website you were supposed to be maintaining doesn't look good and you can't find the right information. And dude, I have spent the last week cleaning up your shit, and I think it's hilarious that you tell people you don't have a problem with me. The other Laura. The other Laura lives on the East Coast, overextends her credit. Ever easier, she bakes fresh cookies from the fridge, no mixing, no mess, for her perfect cookie cutter family. 2 children, a girl and a boy, who never cut class, and of course she is married happily to a man. She has 2 dogs, golden retrievers. She calls them Jack and Jillian, feeds them bits and bits of leftovers. The other Laura is bone thin. Her friends think she has an eating disorder, but don't want to upset her. Debtors call leaving cryptic messages that she erases. She never has anything to wear, would rather be shopping. Each night at precisely 10 p.m., she tucks her boy and then her girl in, though they are too old, and say boldly, "Aw, Mom," slips serenely into plaid flannel sheets, pops on the news, kisses her perfect man on chastely on his perfect lips. The other Laura has no crazy sisters, aunts, family, all rather Norman Rockwellish. Drinks a glass of Pinot Noir, doesn't worry if today is the day she becomes an alcoholic. Someday, this other Laura hopes to travel the world, or at least leave the backyard, PTA, suburbia, and when her head hits her memory foam pillow, she dreams of eating 12 cream-filled maple bars, cropping her hair short, dyeing it blue. One long, hot night, tied up with Canadian-born actor Nathan Fillion, wakes to Quaker instant oatmeal, dried cranberries. This next is from another manuscript I'm working on, Dear John. It's very nearly done. First love. I can't recall, can't put it all together precisely how we first met. It must have been, I'd known him forever. It could have been cutting through Midland Valley estates, sauntering by stripped down to our gauzy halters and hot pants to buy smokes, me and my gang of girls. He could have been in the driveway, bronzed and soapy, washing his car, that bright yellow Boss 302 Mustang he called Jessica. The squirm of her black leather bucket seats or sports deck rear seat, dodging the gear shift. I do remember that hot, humid summer, locked tight in Jessica, her windows rolled up and steamy, the stereo cranked American Pie, slipping into darkness, jungle fever, parked at Lambert Field, McDonald's farm, in front of my house, his house, the urgency of tongues, hands over, under, buttons, zippers. We nearly, we almost. The truth. Remembrance isn't adequate to fold him one crease at a time, so that your edge is lined up with his center, like this, to get this, an origami crane, over and over 1,000 cranes, and one paper cut, a Gordian knot, pulps your unquiet hearts. Across the Universe. This is after a Margaret Atwood poem. Love is not some gravitational acceleration, a black hole that nothing, not even light, escapes. Fucking is not a galaxy bound by dust and dark matter. You are not my NASA. You are not my terraformation. No one can transform the planets. You are just a voyager. Give up the space flight, hypothetical, exacting. Allow yourself skepticism. Grant mine the exploration of startle to friction. Allow me the blue-black sky, night's declination of stars. And this is the title poem of the book, Dear John, for John Clark. My body freezing in little gasps, in sync with maple, oak, and fir. Storm trees like reliving the fire, the crack and shatter, a sort of PTSD. Flames engulfing Oakland, eucalyptus drowning out the air. Dear John, amid the musky cloy of candle wax, I trust you not to start a fire, not to set the building ablaze, or me. Dear John, in my dream, you are a ghost in the graveyard, a pale bloom on the thin spine, a rare red variant opening along a volcanic basalt escarpment. Dearest, truth more complex than thought. It's been 20 years and hey, look, I'm sorry. I fell into flame. I fell into sun. I became a winter storm, a swath of snow and ice. John, ask me how to survive, asking you, a lightning storm. You took my flame, the uninvited storm, out into the ocean, sea after sea, preparing for scorched weather. Dear one, in a barrage of down branches, downy magnolia buds dipped in ice, a fire in the stove belly, you tell me to summon breath. You tell me what happens between the notes is the living. And some poems from my manuscript, Let Widows Be Widows. 3 days prior to April Fool's through Friday the 13th, a fortnight of reckoning in the year of the dragon. I want not to have re-injured my rotator cuff, brooming record-breaking snow off trees the first days of spring. I want my fingers not to be numb. I do not want to sleep coffined in pillows, the shroud of blankets angry against my skin. After my sister's second mammogram, I want the technician not to say we're doing an ultrasound. I want the nurse not to come in and say the doctor will see you now. I want the doctor not to say biopsy. I don't want to explain to my sister that she might have cancer. I want my sister to say, okay, that sounds fine. I want the scheduling nurse not to say 2 weeks should probably be okay. I want her primary doctor not to have called that very day, not to have checked to see if we were happy with the progress. I want no more bad news. No more friends with heart attacks, strokes, bad divorces, dead dogs, prostate cancer, mothers hospitalized with pneumonia. No more posthumous emails. No. I want all my phones to stop ringing. I want it all to be lies. Trinity. Because words were left unsaid, and other words inked and always deleted. Because dissipating rain etches black ice and other treacherous circumstances. The husband working late into the night, the wife on the couch shopping QVC, body without purpose. The husband contemplating disillusion, a lover settles into drink. Body without dreams, the wife defiant, trying and trying not to surrender. Among the alder, wild trillium overrun the path, overtake the hillside. Nobody should bury a child. Imagine the phone ringing, the call to come home. Juxtapose the relief of her release, nothing more to be done. Imagine using frequent flyer miles for a free flight home, using Marriott points for a free hotel, negotiating the cost of a rental car for a week, the lines, the flights, tight connections, midnight arrivals. Imagine your nephew in a black suit, crisp white shirt, yellow striped tie, a thunderstorm of tears as he weeps for his aunt who has just departed, and for those who have gone before, Grandma Marcy, Paul's father, Megan's mother, Grandpa Don, your nephew's hand in yours throughout the Mass. Imagine driving your rental to Jefferson Barracks, your procession waiting behind 3 other processions to bury the veterans, your nephew's hand on your arm, your grandson holding a paper airplane, asking you, who shot at Aunt June? Imagine explaining a natural death. Emphysema. Nothing changes. $10 to bribe a nurse, 1 lucky strike. This poem is written after a poem by Wisława Szymborska. Meanwhile, 1 out of 8 will. Someday, younger, older, it may develop, it has developed, it developed, but not in you. You are not the one because you are still young, because no mother, no daughter, no sister developed it, because you never had it, because your weight is normal, because you don't drink much, because you had a child, because you had a child before you turned 30, because you're a male. Fortunate you had your period after you were 12, menopause before 55, normal genes, a good diet, a non-smoker, mindful meditation. For those fortunate monthly self-examinations. What would happen if you were the 12.5% of the population, the 1 out of 8? Where does the math begin? Acquaintances, second cousins twice removed, checkout clerks, drive-through tellers, dental hygienists, that woman at the dog park, are they a part of your count? A myriad of technicalities juxtapose your heart. You, me. This poem is in memory of Karen Locke, a local poet, On the Edge of Dusk. I think you would love it here in winter. 15 miles of white knuckles over the pass, the drive through the snow, not quite bad enough for chains. I think you would love the stillness of Summer Lake in January, the sudden onslaught of winds, whip shattering through the high desert, tossing a solitary leaf ramshackle across the field. You didn't plan to fall a second time, to spend your last days bound to machines. Last night on the edge of the marsh, I saw you amble through the tall grass, wave an old-timey lantern above your head. Farewell. A great horned owl perches on the willow by my cabin, sings to her fledgling in a call and response. Hoo, 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 hooty hoot, hooty hoot. At daybreak, a fog rolls in and coyotes break into a mournful dirge. And this is for Mark. Cumulonimbus.
Laura, just one more.
Oh, I thought I typed that better. I'm going to read then. I'm going to read This Time is Running Out, which is the poem I wrote last week. Time running out as a gift. Venus shimmering above the waning crescent moon. At sunrise, the sky breaks into pinks. Lavender just ready for harvest scents the air. Yesterday, along the path, Anna's hummingbird hovered just above your head, wings whistling, whirling, holding you in time, clarifying your heart. Thanks, everyone.